Hey everybody, welcome to another Kurt Tay video, and today we're going to talk about Kurt Tay's expenses. So this came about because Kurt Tay made a video talking about me. In this video, I don't know, challenged is a good word, but a lot of people have been saying like he called me out and he asked me to go and plan his finances for him. Otherwise, I'm just talking cock and I don't know what I'm talking about. When I ask him to save money and basically to think about being more prudent with the kind of money that he's spending.
Because going soon. And this Ivan on, they got two things. They got two things. One thing in common. They unable to pan out a shot for me to see, because that time I was this Ivan on, he WhatsApp me. Okay, then he say what I find excuses, blah 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 blah. Then I tell him, okay, why not you pan out a shot for me to see? You pan out a shot for me to see. You buy baby diaper. Okay, how much money? Baby powder, how much money? Give parents, how much money? Because it's easy to talk. We stop talking about what belt, all this. You see carefully, man. Open your eyes big and see. The list that I post on my Instagram. Okay, where got belts? Where got t-shirt? Where got SD card? Okay, where got storage space? Where got 40? Where got Toto? No. Okay, and all these don't have all the real essential service add up to 3,000 plus.
He's basically making the case right, that when he put all his expenses together, like he listed out here, right, there is no way that he can save any money, because these are all the bare essentials in life that he has to pay for, basically, right? Then after this, assuming his take-home pay is around $3,000, there's no way he can pay for all these things, which is not true lah. Like, he asked me to go and do a chart for him to sort of prove and show him how he can save money, and I will do so. He's saying that all these things in the top list also, right? Not even accounting for the storage space, the 4D Toto stuff, the lottery that he spends on, the SD card and the championship belts, right? That all this stuff anyway got no money like left over to save. So there's no way he can save. So it really is not his fault that he has no like financial agency or no financial ability to like do things like afford a house and stuff. So it's like the government's fault or society's fault that he is in the position that he's in. He said, do a chart like I do a chart. Okay, first off, this is not a chart, okay? First off, this is a list. Okay, so you want to talk about a list of Kurt Tay, this is the first real list I've seen, because every time you write in the stupid exercise book that you write, right? Empty one, eh? Like, you turn over the answer empty. So who actually is on your list?
So when people are rude to me, I will put them on the list. That's why. Okay? That's why, man.
So this is the actual list lah. So it's not a chart lah, it's a list lah. Okay, so let's call it what it is. So what I've done instead lah, I've done an Excel sheet for you. Okay, so the first two items, okay, milk powder and diapers. You're right, I'm not a parent. You say that I'm single. Okay.
This going soon is single. Okay, he doesn't understand. You know the burden. He don't understand the difficulty. Not burden. Okay, it's difficulty. He don't understand the difficulty to feed 5 people with that amount of money. So going soon is single. So of course it's easy for him to talk.
Okay, I'm actually not single. I'm married. I don't have kids. So you are right in saying that there's a burden that you are taking on that I don't understand and I can't understand. I can try to empathize, but I cannot fully understand because I don't have kids myself. But I also say that having kids is a choice. It's a choice that you have chosen to take on, and as a result, you are now struggling directly as a result of you having 2 kids. And if that's anything, right, it should be an indication that kids are not something that you should have lightly. But let's talk more about that later. It's actually your responsibility that you chose to have kids. So don't say it like it's a thing about life that you deserve to have kids and you should just have kids. No, bro. Like, it's a choice because there's contraception. You can wear condom, all this stuff. You chose to do the thing, have the kids. You want to have the kids, you have to pay for it. That is your duty. Kids cannot come for free. It's your responsibility to bear as a father. You want to say I'm single? You want to say I don't have kids? Yeah, I'm not single, but I don't have kids. So yeah, but I chose not to have it yet. So don't say it like it's a thing that I don't understand as well as you. I might understand it better because I understand what a kid is in terms of responsibility, and me and my wife chose not to have it yet. Okay, so don't give me this shit, bro. Don't say I'm single without knowing what my marital status is. I don't understand the responsibility of what it's like to uphold a family or whatever. I chose not to have that burden, bro. This is your choice. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, milk powder. I did some research. I'm not gonna nitpick on your prices for the milk powder or the diapers. I think probably these are good prices. I kind of looked it up and it seems about right. The frequency seems a bit strange to me though, and of course this is a little bit hard to say, because when it comes to kids stuff, also me not being an expert, right? Every child is different, every family circumstance is different. So your son, I think, is what, 3 to 4 years old, is it? I'm not sure exactly because the information is not public. Assuming that your son is about 3 to 4, right? I actually think like it's about the time where, not about the time, it might be a little bit late, in fact, like he should stop drinking milk powder, or at least be coming off of milk powder, meaning you transition him from milk powder to other forms of food like solid food and things like that, right? And I'm not saying this based on nothing lah. Like I just have Googled a little bit. So for example, this is a CNA story about how children over 1, meaning 12 months old, actually do not need formula, experts say. So don't say 不懂不要装懂. If 不懂不要装懂 is CNA and experts 不懂不要装懂. Okay, don't direct it at me. I'm just saying what they say. Okay, your family should try to transition your kid, at least your son lah, your older son, Lesnar, to solid food. Because he's about 3 or 4 already, right? At least. There's 2 reasons for this. One is that your kid needs to start getting used to the idea of eating solid food, because it's just something that humans do lah, right? When we grow up from that initial infant phase. And also when it comes to prices, like whole milk is a lot cheaper. So they found out that, for example, in Singapore, right, the prices of infant milk formula increased by an average of 27% from 2012 to 2017. So your milk powder prices you see here on this chart in orange. This is a proper chart. This chart in orange, right, is going up so steadily, right? And you see in comparison, the price of your whole milk is much lesser. So you should also transit. I mean, if he still needs milk in his diet, transit him to whole milk instead of powder milk, and that will save you quite a bit of money. And also for your kid daughter, because it's not a very straightforward answer also, like a lot of people like to say breast is best, right? Like breast milk is better than your formula milk. But it's a very complicated thing lah. It's not necessarily the case all the time. It also depends on what formula you use. A lot of time, like this thing where they say formula is not as good as milk happen because a lot of times like they check the poorer countries, and what the poorer countries would do when they have milk powder is that they will dilute it. So they put more water and less powder because they want to have the milk last for a longer period of time. So compared to breast milk, of course, there's a big difference there, right? So the science is still a bit iffy on that. So I'm not sure, but if you can afford the time and the effort for your wife to prepare or pump breast milk or to breastfeed your kid daughter, it could save you some money in that formula milk respect also, because formula milk is quite expensive for convenience sake, right? Then the next one, diapers. So diapers also again are very iffy. From the very basic sort of research that I found, there is no set time for your kids to stop using diapers, right? But basically, the generally speaking, your kids should start to transit out of full-time diaper wear around 3 years old onwards. Right, so Kangshan, or Lesnar, your son, right, is around that age or older. You can start to consider taking your son off of diapers a little bit, or maybe he just wear at night, that kind of thing. And your cost for that should decrease. It should not be the same level, I think, as your infant daughter. So a lot of these things, the milk powder and the diaper, right, also depend on how the kid is being raised and cared for. And if you are not sending your kids to childcare, which I think you are not, because you are paying your family, your parents, an allowance of $500 a month to look after your kids. This $500, actually a lot of things can save based on that. I actually feel like what you can do is to consider subsidized childcare in Singapore, and I've actually calculated it all out for you. I've talked to Kurt about this before some time back. I suggested that he apply for and look at subsidized childcare because he's spending like $500 a month basically paying his parents to look after his kids. So actually I think when I sent this to Kurt, he was interested at first, and I sent him all the links that he needed to look this up, right? He eventually realized what it meant by subsidized childcare, and then he said no. And he said no because he originally thought, right, that what it meant was that the government just give me money because of my situation, not that the government subsidize me sending my kids to a childcare center. He thought like you could just have the parents look after anyway, but then the government give him money anyway. Which is not what it is. It's like you actually have to send your kid to these approved childcare centers that can get this kind of subsidy for, right, then they would minus off, so that what you are paying at the end of the day is a lot less. That's how it works. And if I remember correctly, I think Kurt was also very against the idea of somebody else that is not his family looking after his kids. Just to show you roughly how much you might stand to gain, and I'm doing this with figures that are not entirely accurate, because I'm just going off of the little scraps of information that I can glean off of the things that Kurt Tay says, which is, I think, oftentimes unreliable anyway. So ECDA, this government agency, ECDA, actually has a very useful calculator for you to calculate your subsidy, right? Like the kind of subsidy that you might be liable to get if you send your kids to infant and childcare. So looking at some of the basic rates, right, for infant and childcare, I'm going to look at the figures from my first school, which is I think one of the more affordable options when it comes to infant and childcare in Singapore. Infant care, as you see here for the Singaporean column, is a lot more expensive, but infant care will only last for the first 2 months to the first 17 months, so it's over pretty quickly, like in 1.5 years, you are going to move from infant to toddler, playgroup, nursery, kindergarten care. I don't know exactly how old his kids are, but I think the son is in this group and then the daughter is still in this group, but I might be wrong lah, okay, so forgive me if I'm wrong. This one is more expensive, so you see it's like 1.3k, right, plus. And the toddler one, this playgroup, the older playgroup is a lot more cheaper. It's like 700 plus, right? So I'm gonna take this figure, right? Because this one doesn't last very long. So because to complicatedly go into this one, right, I need to know exactly how old his daughter is, and I don't know. Okay, so let's just take this one, and we assume that he kicked this one in when his daughter is 18 months. Okay, so if your daughter not 18 months yet, then okay, we don't do what I will suggest for you first, okay? We will just wait until your daughter 18 months, then you maybe consider what I'm going to propose to you, okay? So let's take this figure. So this is the figure of the monthly fees before subsidy, okay? Now, let's look at this calculator and fill in your information as best as I can. Then we see what kind of subsidy and what is your payout at the end, okay? And we try to make a case for you to consider, apart from just having your parents look after your kids for $500 a month, okay? All this stuff you can look through yourself. It seems like these conditions you will qualify for. One condition is that to unlock a certain tier of subsidy, right, you need the mother to be working. And what qualifies as working, right, is if the mother is working at least 56 hours a month, right? So all this other stuff, your child is Singaporean citizen, yes. Your child is enrolled in an ECDA licensed infant care. You can just make sure that they go to an ECDA licensed infant and childcare center. And the total gross monthly outcome, all this stuff, has to be 7.5k and below, or 12k and below from January onwards, which I think you certainly are. So you basically qualify on, right? Okay, so let's enter the information. So let's not look at infant care, let's look at childcare. Okay, then let's look at full day care, right? So you can take your kids off your hands, so that you guys can concentrate on earning income to support the family. I put your gross monthly household income as 4.6k, and this is of course a figure that is probably not accurate. I'm just going off of the little things I've heard. I might have heard this wrong, but I also heard somewhere, because his IG is honestly just a viper's nest, just a very complicated. He posts so much shit every day, right, that it's very hard to keep track. I heard somewhere that he got his wife earning around 1.6k, and he set his own monthly take home pay at about 3k plus. So let's just take it as 4.6k, okay? Then we look at the number of family members living in the household. So for Kurt Tay's case, it's 6. It's Kurt Tay, his wife, 2 kids, and then his mother and his father. So that's 6 people, right, per capita. And we put in this fee that we looked at just now from my first school, which is about $670, right? And we calculate. And what this will do, right, is that they will generate for you all the eligible subsidies that you'll probably be able to get. Generate, and they will tell you, right, your fees payable after subsidy. And that comes up from January 2020 onwards to about $30.40 every month, which is a significant saving per child, So total you are paying $61 every month compared to $500 to your mom and dad. And you know the best thing about this is that if you do this, right, you do like full day childcare, right, your mom and dad can then now go back to the workforce to earn income to chip in with the family expenses some more. And that is this fantastic. So I put the difference in cost, the amount that you can save as 470, but this is just for yourself because actually your parents now will have the time to either go and work or chill a bit, work part-time, then sometimes go and pick up the kids after school, that kind of thing, you know? So it's pretty okay. Like, this is an option that you really can consider and you should really look at. I know you think about, yeah, like, I don't want other people look after my kids. But honestly, like, your parents are not childcare or infant care professionals, and a lot of things are actually professional childcare or infant care people would be able to help you with that might lighten your cost in the other previous areas even more. So for example, things like diaper usage, and I'm not sure exactly where they do this kind of thing, but certainly I think for food, they will be able to help you make that transition, or they notice certain things about your son, they can tell you, then they can help you, because they know, having worked with a lot of kids, roughly what is the normal expected kind of age range for this kind of thing, and they might be able to help you transition your son, who is older, right, off of regular reliance on milk powder and diapers. So this one really is a big chunk for you to look into, and I really suggest you look at it. Okay, I know this thing about family look after, but with this kind of saving, this kind of potential saving up for grabs, not even including your parents possibly working, right, it is just too much to ignore for a low income household. Just having this amount saved every month, right? Every month you just put aside $400, right? In a year, you will have $4,800. In 2 years, you will have $9,600, and that is about enough, I think, to go for a house. Like that is enough to make some moves, you know, like in the housing arena. If you want to get BTO, like HDB resale, that kind of thing, your down payment, things like that, you can do some things already. You have a float also for emergencies. So just doing this over 2 years and having the discipline to put this aside can do a lot for you. So please consider this, okay? Please consider this. Like I said, there's some complexity because the rates are a lot more for infant. So let me just try. Okay, I'm gonna put this for infant. So let's change this one to infant care, and everything else stay the same, right? Let's put this number. Let's see what we get. Okay, calculate. Actually, not too bad. Also, you see, it comes up to be about $124 every month for Kyrie, your younger daughter. Not bad. Also, you see, you take this $124, right? You plus Lesnar / Kang San's $30. It's about what, less than $200 a month? Way less, like more than half less than what you're currently paying your parents to do. So consider really, I really think this is huge. This is really a big factor for you to consider. I think it's great for parents to be able to raise their kids by themselves, or for the grandparents to be able to raise their kids by themselves. There are a lot of advantages, right? Because you get one-to-one care, you get a lot of attention and care to look after the child. Then like you can also impart values that's important to you as a family, as a household, better than, say, leaving it to a childcare center to do. But there are also a lot of advantages in leaving it to the hands of professionals, because for you guys, especially as a low-income household, I've said before, right, frees up so much time for you to focus on earning income, especially for your parents, right? You free up 2 income sources, you know, that's pretty damn good. So think about it, okay? So some of these items also I don't want to nyam or go and nitpick, you know, because I also don't know, every household different. Some education insurance, fair enough. Utilities bill, fair enough. EasyLink card, fair enough. Your own food seems like a lot, but okay, fair enough. I don't know like what kind of diet you're doing, or like if you're working, then you need a certain type of a meal, then you gotta rush 2 meals at once. All this stuff I also don't want to nyam, you know. The family food also okay whatever, I don't want to nyam. But I tell you, one other thing I'll nyam is your freaking handphone bills. And this is your updated figure. This is your 138. 138 is like you say here, in the middle here, handphone. Thanks to Eddie, helped me do TPG, which is I think a mobile service provider. I can save a bit. First handphone, $40 for 60 gigs. Second one, $40 for 60 gigs. Third one, $40 for 60 gigs. Then fourth one, $18 for 130 gigabytes. So total now comes up to about $138 instead of the usual $240. What the fuck are you doing with your mobile thing that you need so much gigabyte, bro? What are you doing? You are doing mobile LAN service, is it? Are you letting your colleagues tether to your phone, then you sell them this data? Why do you need so much data? So he says that it's so I think from what I gather, right, is that okay, I don't even know this time. I'm so sorry. I'm going all over the place because this really, it boggles my mind. Okay, so I think first off, why do you have 4 phone numbers? What kind of a big ass business are you doing? I know all that. I mean, I'm asking all these questions rhetorically. I know the answers, lah, and I'm sure, like, if you're a Kurt Tay fan, you know the answer also, lah, right? It's just that he thinks of himself as a YouTuber. He thinks of himself as some kind of an internet sensation that has the responsibility to go and do all these things and broadcast and go and record all these things. But why can't you just do it on one phone? Why do you need 4 phones all with data on it? I don't understand. Like, why 4 phones with data on it at the same time? Are you watching multiple shows at the same time? So one eyeball on your freaking Mandarin drama, then one eyeball on wrestling, is it? How? So I think he has said this before. He works as a security guard, and the reason why he needs so much data, right, is that it can get boring at the job, and he's watching shows as he's doing his job. So number one, when you are doing your job and getting paid for it, shouldn't you be fully occupied at the job, like, or at least paying attention if you're a security guard, to watch out for threats, to do your patrol, to note down things, to register guests that I don't know, I mean, I don't know what line of work that, like, what kind of security guard exactly you're doing. I don't want to trivialize it or oversimplify the job that you do. Maybe you contribute a lot of value, then it's a lot of nothing where you have to waiting for a shift or something, but you still get paid. But it doesn't seem very productive to me that you are spending so much data at work just watching shows. Also, you want to watch show, okay, why do you need multiple SIM cards to watch show? You are watching multiple shows at the same time. Like, I consider myself a pretty good multitasker, but I can't watch 2 things at the same time. Like, I can listen to something subconsciously, like music, or I can do work that is a bit subconscious, like if I'm drawing and I finish my sketch, then I'm doing the finish line, then I'm just tracing on it. It's a very manual job. Then I can have a YouTube video. But how are you watching multiple things at the same time to the point where you need multiple 60 gigabyte and 136 gigabyte card? What? Like, I'm glad that you cut it from $240 to $138 that you spend a month on mobile phone plans. So thanks, Eddie, for helping him do this shit. But I don't understand still why you need so much in the first place. So, of course, right, we are all screaming it, right? We're all saying, hey, if you're watching shows, why not pre-download it first? One of his fans / trolls / haters or whatever told me through private messaging, and I don't know how true this is, so Kurt will have to corroborate, that they reach out to him before and they say, hey, Kurt, why not I teach you how to use the WWE app or how to download WWE shows or the shows that you want to watch. So preload it onto your phone on an SD card, one of those micro SD cards. Then you just watch it on your phone at work. So you're not using data actively to watch it. But according to the person that messaged me that said he reached out to Kurt to try to help him arrange this, right? Kurt say, oh, my IT skills not good and this is just not something that I want to do. But you know, if you do this, right, you know how much money it can save you. You can just have a very simple $28, 20 gigabyte, or I don't know how many gigabyte the market rate is, but I've been using the $28, 20 gigabyte thing from Circle's Life for fucking ever, and it's been fine. You can save a lot of money for just learning something very simple, not even IT skills, bro. Just learn how to download the thing beforehand. It's $100 leh, that you can save. It's a lot of money for learning something very simple. So don't just say, oh, I just don't know these things. That is part of growing as a person. That you get better, that you learn something new, and people are offering to teach it to you. If you don't know, in fact, I can just do it for you very quickly. I can do an introductory video, a tutorial video, specially for you. Just tell me what shows you are watching, or what kind of thing you want to watch, and I'll go and figure it out, and I'll make a video for you to teach you how to do. Why not that? You just tell me what you watch, and I'll find a way to help you do it in a very simplified way. I'll walk you through every step, like how to download the thing, how to save it on your phone, or how to use the app to download it. I'll just do step by step for you. Very simple one. No way you cannot learn one. Tell me what shows you want to watch, Kurt. So all in all, if you tally this all together, right, at the end of the day, my suggestions if he follows, right, will save him an additional $550-ish every month. Meaning, right, his new expenses every month will now only be $2,744. Even if his take-home pay is like 2.8k, he can still, by right, afford these necessities. But it's gonna be tight. Meaning also that he has no space to go and buy all those other rubbish that we keep telling him not to spend his money on. Like all your SD card, all your wrestling belt, all your storage space, all this nonsense lah. Really no space already. Okay, so don't tell me cannot. The math is here. You ask me do chart for you, I do table for you. It's here already. It's just whether you can cut this two or not. If you cannot cut, you say, oh, this is my necessity. Then cannot lah. Then cannot lah. But don't blame other people. This is you already. Because the option is here. The option is right here. We're looking at it. So don't say I never planned for you. I planned for you. You don't want. It's on you, bro. Okay? And it's not even a joke anymore. It is funny up to an extent. But when we just think about the fact that you have kids. Not just kids. You have 2 kids. It's not a joke anymore, no. Because you are no longer just fighting for yourself. You are fighting for your wife. You are fighting for your 2 children. And the fight is not so that they can have a rich, luxurious life. The fight is so that they have a basic leg up in the world, so that they can be competitive in Singapore society versus their peers, so that they can afford to go and chase the opportunities and chase the potentials that they have to maximize their potential. And it is your duty as a father to make that happen. And you can make that happen with 2 very easy things, in my opinion, to sacrifice. If you cannot sacrifice, then too bad. But don't tell me that this is essential. Okay? Especially the handphone bill. Don't tell me this is essential. Another thing that is a big point here, right, is he's very annoyed that people keep telling him, right, to stop spending on these extra things that he really is not essential on. And he lists at the bottom here. So one is storage space. I think he pays like $200+ a month. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't know how much exactly. $200+ a month on a storage space where he stores all kinds of rubbish. On 4D Toto, which is like a form of lottery in Singapore. On SD card, he buys new SD card and hard disks almost monthly, I think, or at least monthly, right? Don't know how much he spends on that. And then also WWE wrestling memorabilia. Not just WWE, other companies also, but mainly WWE stuff. And like memorabilia, like the championship belts, the t-shirts and stuff, like masks and things like that. And there was a post that he did recently that I can't be bothered to go and find, that he said what is inside his storage space. It's things like comics, wrestling stuff, not even like real essentials, honestly. Like things that all like actually useless one essentially, unless like the belts in his storage space can sell for a lot of money, like the actual wrestler, like Kurt Angle's licked it before or something, or signed it before. I don't know why I say lick. Yeah, signed it before or something. Like it's useless stuff. Then you are spending $200+ a month paying to store that stuff in a place that you don't even access. It's not like even every month you go and look at it. Then you have it for what, bro? Sell it or get rid of it. Then you don't have to pay $200. That's another $200+, assuming that's how much your storage space costs, right? Then you're saving already. That's a lot of money. Your SD card also said before already. You're not Steven Spielberg. You're not Martin Scorsese. You're not filming extremely high quality stuff. You upload, then upload, done already lah. Right? Upload, then just leave it on the cloud and then delete your SD card stuff, then record some more. Record on top of that again. Why do you need to buy new SD card for? You go back and look at your stuff one, is it? You record so many years of all this food. It's all your video, all the same thing, and all food things, or like, you know, like compilation video, which is interesting to people like me, but like honestly speaking, do you go back and watch it? Then you stop for what? And you say like, oh, then I don't spend on SD card. How I become YouTuber? How I be internet sensation? Because you know YouTube pay me. You know YouTube pay you how much? Honestly, can you break it down and tell us how much YouTube pays you? Because sometimes like Kurt Tay would just show a screenshot of like, oh, YouTube paid me, and it's like every 3 months they send you $200-300. Is it? If that's the case, it's not worth the time and the money that you spend on SD cards. So might as well do away with the SD cards. At least save yourself cost based on that. Just upload, delete the footage or overwrite the footage, then do that again. And then Toto also. I mean, Toto, lottery, 4D, this kind of thing. I've spoken about it in my previous video. You just look up the odds of this kind of stuff happening. It is ridiculous in terms of investment perspective. So also you say, oh, don't buy, no hope. Well, actually you buy also, right? It is, when you buy lottery, right, it is very certain that you lose money on your investment. if you think I 不懂不要装懂 whatever, I can do another video addressing this because this is actually a very interesting topic. But also this is a stupid thing you're spending on. And then what else? The wrestling memorabilia, I think don't need to say lah, right? Because you buy a lot of stuff also not officially from that store. You don't keep it in a way that retains its value. You're not buying the wrestling stuff from the perspective of investment next time, or if I keep for 5 years, I sell, it'll be cost more money or whatever. To wrap this whole thing up, all this like extra stuff that you like to spend on, you are getting angry because we're asking you not to spend on these extra things that you spend on, right? All this extra stuff being storage space, 4D Toto, SD card, wrestling stuff, right? And you say instead of saving, I can't save anyway. So why you tell me not to buy this stuff?
This going soon, I don't know. I've been talking about belt lah, storage space, all this, blah, 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 blah. And this 3,000 plus on the list doesn't include wrestling belt, doesn't include wrestling t-shirt, doesn't include 4D Toto, doesn't include storage space. Your eyes got problem. They cannot see on my list. The 3,000 plus expenses doesn't have belt all this. So they are fucking blind. Okay?
Do you realize that there's a logical gap there? Because, right, if you are really saying, right, that there is no money left over from your take-home pay after paying for necessities, right, then how are you still buying this stuff? How am I still seeing you doing reviews of new belts that you buy, new t-shirts that you are buying? How are you affording this anyway if you are saying that your take-home pay is already not enough for the necessity? Then where does that money come from? Is your argument to say, my take-home pay already not enough, I pay for all necessity, not even enough. Then why not I just go and buy? But how are you getting the money to buy all this other stuff? It doesn't make sense. So if you can find the money to buy this other stuff, that is all money that you can not buy and then save. So it has to come from somewhere. It exists. And we're telling you that that is not essential. So if it comes down to the thing, you want to be proven right, to say, hey, you come and do my fucking accounts and you tell me not enough. Okay, we do already. And I agree with you. It doesn't seem like it's enough based on your current way of doing things. But don't say that your take-home pay of, say, $3,000 is not enough to pay for basic necessity, because like I've shown here with these 2 points, your definition of basic essential, right, is not quite accurate. There's an even more basic level that you can revert to, that you can choose to do so if you're willing to compromise. And if you're not willing to compromise, then this is not essential already. These are luxuries that you are deliberately paying for. The luxury, for example, of having your parents raise your kids, look after your kids after school, and the luxury of you having, more than 200 gigabytes of data on your phone every month. These are not basic essentials, okay? So your definition needs to be very clear. You have to be very clear with yourself for your own sake. Again, this is just I do for fun one. I don't even care, bro. This is fun for me to do because I'm a personal finance enthusiast, right? I do for fun. But it's actually affecting your life and it's affecting your family, your wife, your kids' life. Ivan Ong says CPF job. Triple S CPF job after deduct CPF take home pay $2,800. Come do a chart. Show me $2,800 how to cover all this. The chart is here, bro. 2,800 can cover leh, because this is the amount leh. 可以的 bro， 可以的，做得到的 ，OK。2,800 can， Then somehow this kind of thing not enough still can buy new belt, still can do video review of new shit every month. So if you really want to go on this story of saying 真的是不够 okay, really not enough one, then I don't want to see you doing new belt or new t-shirt or new whatever review, okay? Because if it's not enough, it shouldn't be enough. And as if enough and you can still spend a few $100s every month buying this kind of nonsense, this kind of like fun things that are not a necessity, then this kind of stuff you can actually save for your kids, save for your family, save for yourself to buy a house in the future. But I'm actually very hopeful for you, and I just ignore. I mean, you're very rude to me, but I'm not that bothered about that because I understand why you're rude. You're rude because people have been rude to you for years and years and years, and I've seen it in the comments, and I don't like it. So it is a defense mechanism that you have developed for yourself. But I hope what you are not is, but I hope that even if you're rude to me, that you won't ignore what I say. Because I honestly, if you just think about the conversations I've had with you, I've always been sincere, and I've never ever scolded you in a very rude or vile manner, even though I can be a bit snarky at times. But I genuinely want you to do well in life, and I genuinely care about you having a good life and also your family having a good life. So please consider it. Please listen, try to absorb it, and please consider it. For your own sake and for your family's sake.